Welcome to Idaho Partners for Good's Learning Module 1. Let's start at the beginning with our vision and our mission. Our vision is that every one of our 44 counties and their communities thrive because our investments develop stronger, healthier, better equipped nonprofits. Why? So that they can do more of what they do best. And then our mission is we're reinventing how people give, share their expertise, and do greater good together. So we just want to welcome you, take a moment to just express our gratitude for coming along on this journey. It is a movement of people who care deeply about this great state and her people. So we acknowledge that there is a lot of really good stuff that's going on out there in all of our communities as a result of the work of nonprofits. But we also have to acknowledge that there are gaps as well that we need to figure out how to address. And part of the equation is to teach people who give to flip the way that they give from that of just writing a check to truly funding and financing nonprofits in a way that makes sense for the nonprofit, which is much more along the side of unrestricted funding and building their capacity. So did you know that there's over 7,500 nonprofits in Idaho and that they take in over $6 billion a year? And while those are some pretty big numbers, what we really should be asking is questions around impact. Are the people, the places, and the environment better off or not? Well, very few can actually evaluate whether or not they are in a better position. So here comes Idaho Partners for Good, because we plan on making sure that we can evaluate what we do from beginning to end. So welcome to the movement, and hold on, because we're going to start learning more about the model that we're using, which is new to Idaho, but it's not new to the nation. This model has been used in many other places for more than 20 years. We've adopted the model here in Idaho because it works. So here's what you're going to get out of today's presentation. You'll understand our vision, mission, and our guiding values, the structure of who's leading this movement, the role of partners, and a little bit more about the model and our approach to what we do. So it's pretty simple. We try to keep things in three: continual learning, entrepreneurial mindsets, and designing with the end user. All of this to just say that we will continually learn because we don't know it all. We will be flexible and be inclusive through entrepreneurial mindsets. And then we won't do things for others, but we will design with them. And that's what our values really stand for. Then just some quick data from our year 2 year-end survey. These are the reasons, the primary reasons, the themes that people stay engaged with Idaho Partners for Good. It's our culture. It's the amazing people. Some of these people are absolutely brilliant. And so we're attracting amazing people. This model is very aspirational. It's innovative, it's inclusive, it requires deep expertise, and we use design thinking as our approach to the work. So we do have an org chart. Here's what it looks like. It is standard for a nonprofit, no matter who you are, to have a board of directors. They're the ones responsible for fiscal, legal strategy and really focusing a nonprofit on the future. And so we've got an amazing group of leaders that are very diverse and very scrappy. Then we've got a bunch of teams. This is where the work happens. So communications, huge, huge, huge for an organization like us, because we require constant recruiting of partners and capacity builders. Then we have our investee relations team, and they are responsible for the due diligence anytime we initiate a funding cycle. And so this is a group of people who are responsible for the nominations, due diligence, and then getting the top 3 nonprofits in front of the partnership so that they can vote on which one that they would like to support for up to 3 years. Then we have the fund development team, and that's pretty self-explanatory. These are the people who are actively seeking diverse revenue streams so that we can not rely on any one thing in order to fund our operations. Then we have something new that's going to be hopefully standing up in 2022, and that is our partner experience team. These are the people who want to create the experiences whereby people will be drawn in and get value from being engaged. Our impact team, these are independent consultants that come under our umbrella. They're the ones who are generating revenue for us as a result of us deploying them into the for-profit sectors. And then last but not least is our evaluation team. And they are helping us to measure not just our outcomes and our outputs, but our impact. Very, very critical piece of the puzzle is how do we truly evaluate the investments that we're making over the long term. Now, this is one of the first questions that come up with people who get involved with Idaho Partners for Good is, how are we funded? Very simply, we have a couple of major funding streams. One is, it is a quasi membership. We have large donors at 10,000 and above, and then we have trailblazers at 5,000, partners at 1,000, and associate partners at 500. Each one of those levels commit for 3 years because it is to match the 3-year term of our grants to the nonprofit that we come alongside. Then we have sponsors who give various amounts of money, and those are to fund our operations specifically. Then we have Friends of Idaho Partners for Good, and that's just any amount. And then we have our capacity builders, which is the heart and soul of our movement. These are people who may not be able to invest at these levels that are in the top, in the green, but they have deep expertise, the time, and the talent. The other sources of revenue are our corporate giving. Those are a lot of large companies in Idaho have their own corporate giving programs. We want to be part of that. So if you're part of a company that has a corporate giving program, get us signed up on that, would you? And then grants, we are not writing a lot of grants, but we do write grants that fall specifically right in our sweet spot. Then we do have the earned income. That's what the picture is on the right side of the screen, is we really have 3 key focus areas for our impact team, and that is around recruiting talent, strategic advising, and policy and thought partnership. Then we will selectively be the fiscal sponsor and take a portion of that revenue coming through. We also have passive income platforms, and we are looking at setting up affinity groups. So if you have not already seen the graphic on the right, it will be coming to you soon, but it is essentially our onboarding process. If you look on the left, this is what we're doing. We are now starting everyone out in the Google Classroom because it's a way for us to document who's involved and whether or not they have gone through the full process. This method truly requires us to be very conscientious about how we deploy into the nonprofit sector, how we show up, our mindsets and behaviors. So we really have to have people who invest themselves in our education process. So we do use Google Classroom. We'll send you the information about how to get started. Yeah, it's pretty simple. Just read the instructions, watch the 5 videos, complete the short reflection after each video. Then we'll need you to complete the skills matrix. What that is you'll just go into the Google form and start identifying where you want to play. And we ask you to limit that to those places where you really have deep expertise in a particular key area. You need to sign our code of ethics. It's how we behave. It's how we behave with each other in Idaho Partners for Good, as well as how we behave when we're deployed into the nonprofit sector. So vital piece of our agreement on with anyone who joins us. Then if you want to nominate and vote for a nonprofit, then you need to become a member at one of those 4 levels on the previous slide. So in our this last survey, these were some of the things that were called out by our people who are actively involved as capacity builders, partners, board members. And they really love the opportunity to learn and the networking with people who are actively building up the community. Then we provide tons of opportunities for people to grow alongside strong, competent leaders. And then we're seeing more folks lean in this year, so it's causing excitement for others. Because of our purpose, people are adopting that as their own. Then we have a commitment that we will walk with the nonprofit for up to 3 years, and we'll give them free consultants, essentially, who have deep skills. Plus, we give them an annual grant of at least $15,000. And we'll give them that each year upon meeting the mutually agreed upon action plans. Then we have really a very strong will and professionalism. Then we've got the evaluation team, which actually is a fun place to be. Most people may not think about evaluation as fun, but we try to make it as fun as possible. And then we have great content on our YouTube channel, on our social media channels, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, our breakthrough series that we do monthly, our coffee chats. We do a lot of things to try to bring world-class content, both for our people as well as the community. So in a nutshell, this was one of our social media posts, and I love it because it helps encapsulate what we are and what we're doing. So we're more than a grant maker. We're more than a giving circle. We're more than organizational experts. What we do is we wrap around our grantee so that they are resourced, equipped, encouraged, supported in ways that are often non-existent in the nonprofit sector without huge investments of funding by that nonprofit. And so we are essentially coaches, mentors, case managers that bring the best equipment and resources and tools to activate the nonprofits that we work with, so that not that we fix them, but that we make them even stronger and healthier and better equipped. So we give them what they need, and we go up to 3 years with them, because 12 months is not long enough for cultural changes to really be embedded. You need to go 2 to 3 years in order for those key operational and infrastructure elements to really take hold, so that they are embedded in their behaviors, policies, and processes. And you can learn more about Idaho Partners for Good on any of those channels: Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and I guess that's it. Okay, so here's what, again, people are saying that are working with us about our model in comparison to the traditional giving model. What we're doing is we are providing tools to help address key issues that are facing nonprofits. So if we select a nonprofit to go along with us, then what we do is we do an organizational capacity assessment. And what that essentially means is it's a way for us to uncover both the strengths and the places where they might need some help and some deep expertise. So our expertise and knowledge exceeds what's normal in the nonprofit sector. I have to say, absolutely, we have some crazy talented people that are being deployed into the work that we're doing. We have built inclusiveness into our model from top to bottom and bottom to top. We want to reshape the way giving has been done in the past, because as of right now, less than 10% of all philanthropy across the United States is given to leaders of color in their organizations. And so to me, that is a huge gap that we can begin to address in Idaho. We bring expertise plus money. There's lots and lots of options for you to place, and it's to play. And it's also a grassroots approach. So we create space for pretty much everyone to play, as long as they're willing to do it with no hubris, with a lot of humility, and with the bumpers that we've set up through our education and our code of ethics. So people love that this is essentially pro bono consulting to build a nonprofit's capacity and their sustainability, and that people actually get to do the work of capacity building in their community. So that is it for Module 1. Once you click off this, then click on the reflection for Module 1, and it'll take you to a form that will take you probably about a minute to fill out. And that way we can capture that you've finished this module. All right, then, we're glad that you're joining us. Welcome aboard.